My name is Mago, and I'm the marketing director for Compete Services. I've been involved with Compete Services from the beginning. I recognize the value of using a tuition billing company like Compete Services in my own studio. After signing up for tuition billing service, I doubled my own enrollment in 6 months and then doubled the enrollment of my studio again 6 months later.
The first studio I worked at, we did payment by mail or drop off, and it was a nightmare to keep track of.
Before I used a billing service, collecting tuition was my least favorite part of running a business. I hated feeling like a bill collector.
If people weren't making their payments or if they were late, having to make phone calls, and it was a really difficult and time consuming.
The minute I started using Compete Services, I felt a huge sense of relief.
No other software program has ever had as big of an impact on my dance teaching as Compete Services has.
Compete Services is an extremely powerful piece of software. The great thing about it is it's very easy to use.
You will want to have Compete Services with your business. It is so easy to use.
Compete Services makes it as easy as possible to enter students into the Compete Services online system.
You go in there, you put in the information, it does all of the work for you.
They even mail me the contracts. I have professional carbon copy contracts that students sign when they register for classes.
Adding and updating student information is very easy. We've designed Compete Services specifically to make it simple to use.
It's really easy to turn a prospect into a registered student. I just click a button, that student becomes activated, I set up the payment schedule, and done. And then I don't have to worry about collecting tuition for that student ever again.
Adding and updating students, of course, is very simple. You can change information on a student at any time. If you start billing a student on a certain day for a certain amount with a certain method, you can change that tomorrow, you can change that a month from now, you can change that at any time you need to. If you need to extend a contract on a student or cancel or drop a student, you can do that immediately.
Not only is it a way to track student records and do your billing, but it's also a way to market to the prospects that you get. You keep track of all your prospect information, you can send out emails, you can send out texts.
Compete Services allows me to enter prospect information right into the system. So I can keep track of people who have inquired about classes and take the steps I need to help make them active paying students.
Compete Services is more than just a software program. You're also getting the people on the other end. If I need any help with anything, I can just pick up a phone and call. They're there to help me. They walk me through everything I need to do.
Who know me, know my business, know my values, know my students, and are really invested in making sure that my students have a good experience at my studio as well.
If we can't receive a payment, they will do the work for us.
Our staff goes to work for you. You don't have to worry about late payments anymore. That's our job, and we'll take care of it for you.
There was a time when I had to call the Compete Services staff about an issue with a payment schedule, and the people on the other side were absolutely fabulous. They helped me, walk me through everything I needed to do. They knew me by name when I had to call back. They knew the situation, and we got it resolved in a really timely manner.
And I've been amazed by that level of service.
Compete Services is really good at collecting tuition. We've spent a lot of time researching the methods that help us to get a higher percentage of collections every single month. We know when to send out the letters, and we know when to make the phone calls, send the emails or the text messages, so that we can ensure that your invoices get out, that your payments get made, and that everything gets recorded correctly in the software for you.
The awesome thing about Compete Services is it more than pays for itself. Number one, without Compete Services, there's no way that I would be collecting as much tuition as regularly as they do.
We're better at collecting tuition than just about anybody else is. So immediately when you join Compete Services, we'll help to increase the amount of money coming through your studio that way. Compete Services is also very good at training studios to be more financially successful. We make it a priority to help our studios learn how to be more profitable. We'll show you specific marketing techniques and ways to train your staff to be more effective, everything from how to answer the phone to how to advertise online. All of these things will draw and retain more students to your studio.
But even besides that, the enjoyment that I have in my business is so much greater because Compete Services is relieving me of all the stress of handling tuition collections and managing tuition billing and issues that come up with tuition billing.
We want to be the tool in your back pocket that takes away a majority of the business work that you have to do so that your studio can become the envy of all of those in your area. You'll make more money and you'll do it with less work.
The best thing I ever did for my business was to hire Compete Services.